Hi everybody, it's me, Julie. I am here for day 12 of our 12 days of Samhain. And so most of you guys know it as Halloween, and most of you want to go trick-or-treating. I'm going to take this opportunity to do something that I normally do this time of year and put a little bit of education in there for you. So to start out, Halloween is actually Samhain. So that's where Halloween originated from. And during Samhain, this is when we are leaving the summer behind and moving into winter. And it is also one of the 2 times a year where the veil is very thin. The other time is at Beltane when we're moving out of the winter into the spring and the summer. So during this time, when the veil is very thin and spirit activity is very high, if you were somebody that had to be out and about after dark at this time of year, back in thousands of years ago, whenever, I'm not good with time, but and you had to be out and about at this time of year, especially after dark, people would dress up in costumes that were scary to scare off any other ghosts that might be, spirits that might be out there wandering around. So they would dress up to kind of, for the ghost to think that you were a scarier ghost or spirit than they were, and they would leave you alone. So that is where the tradition of dressing up comes from. Then just a little bit about why we carve pumpkins. So again, if you had to be out and about this time of year, back then, it was very dark. There was no street lights. There was no flashlights. There was no turn on your flashlight on your cell phone. So they actually carved out turnips and put lights in them, and they would line their walkways, their pathways from house to house or village to village or wherever they had to go. So there would be these huge turnips out there that they would cut holes in and scoop them all out and put candles in them, and that was what they would use to light their way from, like I said, paths from house to house or village to village or wherever they had to go. So that's where your tradition of carving a pumpkin comes from. So the next step of going door to door for trick-or-treating, where did that come from? So I'm actually going to be making one of my favorite treats, mostly because I try to stay away from candy. Doesn't always work, but it's super easy, and I love super easy. But before we get started, the trick-or-treating came from back then when the spirits were roaming around. They're roaming around now too, but back then what they used to do is they would make different types of treats to leave out on their doorstep at nighttime when they went to bed. So if any friends or relatives came to visit them, they would see their favorite foods, their favorite treats out on the doorstep. And that was a way to let the ancestors know that you were remembering them, that you were honoring them, that they were welcomed to your home, and things of that sort. So they would put out their ancestors and friends, family, whatever, favorite foods out on their doorstep before they went to bed on Samhain Eve. So that's where going door to door getting treats comes from. So quick little lessons there. But what we're going to make today is super, super easy. I have a cake mix, and I got spice, but you can do this literally with any cake mix. You can do it with yellow cake. You can do it, I wouldn't do it with strawberry cake. That might not be good. You can do it with chocolate cake. You know, you can really do it with any kind of cake. Carrot cake, but maybe stay away from the the strawberry. And literally this recipe is super, super easy. I already have the oven preheating, and I have my pack of cake mix. Cut that open, dump it in the bowl. Next up, can of pumpkin. Open that up. I love super easy recipes. Alright, so we're going to open that up, and where's my little spoon? There he is. And then we're going to scoop the pumpkin into the cake mix. Getting all of it out. We want the whole can. Alright, and then we're going to mix. That's literally it. Takes a little bit to mix it up, but so you guys can let me know if you've enjoyed these short little how-to videos. I mean, like, none of this is rocket science. None of this is anything hard that you cannot do at home. You know, not any big secrets here for anything. But just things I like to do for Samhain. Samhain is one of my favorite holidays. Samhain, and then Yule, and then probably Beltane are my top 3 that I love. So I'm just trying to make sure I got all the powder mixed in. It's pretty much there. So just a little bit more mixing. I don't have a fancy mixer because honestly it would go to waste because I don't bake that much. When my kids were home, I used to bake all the time and cook big dinners and things like that. And now that it's just me and my husband, we don't need all kinds of brownies and cookies and candies, because honestly we will eat them. And between the kids' birthday parties and everything else, we still get plenty of goodies. We are definitely not deprived in any way. Alright, so literally that is it. Cake mix and pumpkin. And then I have a pan. And I have some spray. And then I am going to scoop that into the 6 cups that I have. And I'm just following the same instructions on the cake mix. So I'm cooking it at 350, and cupcakes is 12 to 17 minutes. Now it's supposed to make 24 cupcakes, but they're like this big. I'd rather just make 6 big ones. And sometimes I will sprinkle a little bit of sugar, sparkly silver sugar on top, just to give it a little bit of, you could use any kind of sugar that you want. But all right, so I'm scooping 1 scoop for each, and then I'll go back. Big scoops. Oops, and I glurped off the side of the pan. That's okay. It washes. All right, now I'm going to go back with a little bit smaller scoops. Just to kind of get them to be all roughly the same size. All right, oven is preheated. Perfect timing on that. Going a little faster than normal, so I'm making a little bit more of a mess than normal. It's all washable. Trying to get all of it. Don't want to waste any that we don't have to. All right, so we've got that all out. Clean off the spoon here. Move that aside, and I'm all messy. And basically just gonna smooth out the tops a little bit. Because this is really thick, so it doesn't really like settle like a cupcake does. It stays pretty much just how you glooped it in there. So I try to make them look a little bit nicer. I mean, you don't need to, but yeah, I definitely have a mess. All right, some of the sugar, I'm going to just put it in my hand and then just sprinkle it on the top. A little bit more. All right, and finished, well, not finished, to go in the oven. So I have 6 big muffins in here. And so I'm going to put those in the oven to cook for, what did I say? I'm forgetful. 12 to 17 minutes. And then they will be all done. And I will have a little Samhain treat for myself. So thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.